Hey guys, it's Drew. I got another Saker product. This is probably my, I don't know, sixth video with Saker products, or Saker Canine. It's a company out of Canada that does a lot of manufacturing in China, but they do have some really cool and some high quality products that are kind of geared towards hikers, campers, people that do some traveling that need something a little bit more rugged. Now, I don't do that a whole lot anymore. However, I do like stuff that's just built a little extra tough, especially because I have a little bit over or around 100 pound German Shepherd mix. So he got some power to him. So I try to find some durable materials. So I got this called the Slurpee Sack, which is something that I feel like I need to be on a different website reviewing by the name of it. However, we're here on YouTube, so it's PG. It is a 1 liter dog water bottle. So, just looking at the packaging here, a lot of the accessories that Saker sells comes in these black Mylar bags that are kind of like almost like a Ziploc, but you kind of pinch the top closed. Let's just read the package back here. It says it takes virtually no space because it's a collapsible, kind of like a flexible rubber hydration bladder geared for a dog. You don't need a bowl, which is the big selling point for this, and you don't waste a drop of water, which I'll get into here in a minute. So let's pop this out of the bag here. Again, it's not a tear open, it's just going to pop open like so. And here is the water bladder. Bam, just kidding, it's right here. Alright, so this water bladder here, as you can see, it collapses very small. And this black piece here, this piece of rubber that has a nice Saker logo on it, as you can see right here. This piece of rubber functions as the bowl for the dog. So, it's supposed to just flip over to the other side, assuming that there's water in the bladder, which obviously there's not. I just took it out the package. You would flip it like this, and then you can squeeze some water out after you push a button that's right here, which I'll show you a little bit later on in the video. And then water will come out here. This right here, this rubber piece will function as a bowl, which in theory you could actually hang because it's designed with these S hooks here on the top that you could, when it's full, obviously it's gonna flatten out a bit better. You could hang by either a rope or something off some tree branches or something like that that you could throw in the Ascension pack. But this Slurpee Sack 1 liter here, it seems like it's kind of designed with the whole hiking and all that in mind, since obviously it's a water bladder, but it's it's kind of like the bread and butter, the Ascension dog harness with the pack on each side. Those packs obviously can carry a little bit of weight on them, and then it would perfectly fit this Slurpee sack, the 1 liter thing here. I think on the website even it says that it's recommended you get 2 for your dog. That way you can put 1 of these on each side. That way your dog has 2 liters of water, assuming you're going to do like a long camping thing or an overnight or something like that. And it also to help keep the weight in check, because obviously you don't want to have, like 12 pounds of liquid or something like that hanging on the left side of your dog, and then 2 pounds of treats on the right side of your dog, and just keep it out of balance, mess with his joints, cause some falls or anything. So, all right, material wise, obviously this bowl piece right here is flexible rubber, and it's very thick, which may be kind of hard to get on the video, but it is very thick for rubber, that is. And I mean, it's obviously pliable because there's not a whole lot connecting it until you get to around the lid here. And let me see, and as demonstrated earlier, it goes inside out of itself. That way you can just collapse the bowl like so, make it a nice small package. Alright, material wise on the outside of this, it's kind of like gritty, like a sand almost like it's like a sand blast. But there's no writing or anything on the back, which, I mean, there's definitely an opportunity for something to go back there. I just don't know what off the top of my head. I do like how it's got the liters converted over to pounds approximately with just standard water. I like how it's BPA free. I like the built-in bowl on how all that works out. I think its biggest competitor for this Saker sack is that you can get them collapsible bowls on places like Amazon, which just collapse completely flat, and they're like a plasticky sort of material with, or even kind of like a rubber plastic hybrid or polymer. Any of those three, and they're like $8 to $12, somewhere in that range. And versus this, which I think is on sale right now, it's like 21 and some change, where it's regular $25, $26. So I mean, its competitor is probably half the price on Amazon versus on Saker. However, The big thing with this, which I'll show in a demo later on, is that after you put some water out here and you squeeze the water out, and then it's just kind of pooling here, if your dog doesn't finish it all, and the same effect with a bowl, if your dog doesn't finish it, you know, you would in theory just pour it out, or you just leave it there and it would potentially collect mosquitoes or something of the sort. To where with this Slurpee sack, you would depress this little button here, and then you could see, if you look really closely, there's a little button in the center. You would depress it, and then you could tilt this up, and then the water would go back into the Slurpee sack. That way you wouldn't waste anything, which is kind of the big selling point for this, where it's going to really shine in comparison to its competitors, which I really like, actually. So that's nice. Let me see. So filling it up, which I'm not going to do right now just because my sink's kind of far away, very easy. This just twists off. It's got just a plastic piece here that works with, as you can see, the button that's on the other side. It looks like it has, yep, that is some kind of rubber washer right here. That's going to function with that. It has another washer on the inside here just to keep everything in the sack. And then it's got just the bladder itself. The only thing that comes to mind as a potential issue with this would be if you have to clean it for some reason. However, it... Oops, sorry guys, video cut out again. The only thing that comes to mind with this as being a potential issue is trying to clean it if you have to. However, it's just going to be water. So sunlight hitting it, or this sitting out in direct sunlight for extended time periods, like several hours on end, and collecting some kind of algae or organic growth on it, like a kind of like a stagnant swimming pool or a stream if you're an avid hiker and are familiar with it. I don't really foresee that being that much of an issue. It's just going to be difficult to clean it in comparison to them collapsible bowls. But for what it's designed for, I do not see this being an issue for what its intended use is. I just think having multiple ways to give your dog food and water is recommended for any hiker. I think the rule of thumb is 2 is 1 and 1 is none. So you can get a Slurpee sack, you can get a pack of collapsible bowls, or a platypus bladder, which is a brand that I'm very fond of. They're not specifically designed for dogs, that platypus bladder, but they have a I think it's called a big zip. There's a big zipper in the back of the bag, so you can easily just put that whole thing with an open zipper in a stream, collect water, you know, zip it back up, hang it up. It has a little hole at the bottom you can use, and you can attach a filter to it to fill up something like this to be able to use on the go, and then you have some filtered stream water, or mix it with like a Sawyer mini filter or something like that. There's a whole bunch of options in this market to filter water. There's just not a whole lot of stuff that's kind of designed specifically for dogs, which this seems to be, and it seems like it'll definitely do the job, which I'm excited for. So I'm going to cut this out, fill this up with some water, and hopefully my camera doesn't shut off on me for the 11th time while I'm trying to make this video for you. Alright guys, if you can kind of see through the sack here, I just got regular clean water in there from the sink. It's about just a hair over 650 milliliters of it, so I'm just going to attempt to get this bad boy working real quick. Now that you've seen that there is water inside the filter, let me just twist this on. It is just a twist on pressure fit. Alright, so the button is pressed right now, so water can come out. Alright, let me take this off. I'm going to try to do this one-handed, which is probably going to be a horrible idea. Just bear with me 1 second. Yep, very horrible idea. Alright, Cody, I need my model here for this. Sit. Good boy. Let me zoom out a bit so you can get a good image of apparently my foot. Just going to tilt this down a bit. Let some water come out, as you can see. See if Cody will come at it. It's his first time seeing this, so he's not too familiar. But he can see it. So, in theory's sake... Oh, is he going to? He is going to get a drink out of it. That's actually progress, because I didn't expect him to move so quickly on that. So that's nice. Since the bowl comes up and has good sides on it, I don't have anything coming out. He's normally a very messy drinker. If that feeder over there doesn't give it away, it's a neater feeder. It's designed for messy drinkers specifically. So if I was to depress this button right here, which I just did, and then pull it back, I'm just curious if anything is going to happen here. So I press the button again, which I believe stops it up. So let me just pull this back. Is anything going to go in? It Does not appear so. So let's push this back one more time. Oh, very quickly. Very, very quickly. There's a tiny bit left over, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So if I tilt this forward again, is it going to come out? Is there going to be any extra? Yes, okay. So you just leave it open the entire time is common sense here. I just had to see it for myself. You leave the whole thing open, and then you can close it, and you should be good to go. Now that there's water in it, I press the button. Just a little bit of stuff that was stuck in there is what's left. So that's the only gripe to it, but I mean, you're not going to save every last drop. It's just how the design of it is. I guess the only way that they would be able to improve that is to, I guess, kind of have some kind of secondary piece of rubber to make the bowl out. But either way, this works as intended, does a really good job of it, saves probably like 95% of the water, just the little droplets that are left. That's about it. So it feels pretty solid, as I mentioned a few times. I wouldn't have any issues with this being in my dog pack by any means. It's going to fit and look pretty good with my Saker Ascension pack. Out of that little bit that he drank, I mean, he only had, shoot, like 40-50 mils, if that, of water. So yeah, I can recommend it for what it is. If you're going to go on some long hikes or you have a particularly thirsty dog that you're concerned about, then definitely recommend it. For like 22 bucks, it pairs well with your Ascension. All right, leave this video a like if you like this kind of content. I didn't see any videos of this particular water thing going into detail of the bladder for the Slurpy sack, as weird as that name is in my opinion. So I just wanted to make one, that way you guys can see what it is. So leave this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe to see more Saker or related content for dogs or just household products that I think are worth it. All right, see you guys in the next one.